Mr. Alan in the world of toys, boxings and museums, reviews and reviews. Mr. Alan in the world of toys, unboxings and museums, reviews and reviews. Mr. Alan in the world of toys. You find your allegiance when you got your factions. You find emotions into a magic war. If you know Mythic allegiance, if you love cosmic allegiance and figure obscura, you know that these beautiful lines were created by an awesome company called Horsemen Studio. If you follow this channel, you know that I love every member of the Horsemen Studio. But there is a guy that have an Italian heritage like me. That was never before on my show, but finally today I have the pleasure and the honor to have on my show the one and the only, Jim Preziosi. Jim Preziosi is here. So, for the first time ever on my channel, please welcome Jim Preziosi.
That was very good. That was very, very good.
Yeah, this is a Mr. Alan experience. Everybody loves that. So
yeah. No, that was. I didn't expect that at all. That's completely unexpected.
Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah. But for a first time ever, I did something more longer than usual because you deserve that. Because you are. And the first time on my show, you deserve a longer red carpet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And my red carpet actually is the keyboard of the piano for my guests.
Very cool. Thank you.
I see a model of a ship behind you.
That used to be in my office. I don't know if you can see it.
It's back beautiful. There. Where you got that one, that model?
Yeah, I got it. The place we work. Have you ever been to the shop? Did you ever come to the US and go to our shop at all?
No, not yet. It's one of my dreams. Be there, but
yeah. Where we're located, the guy who rents a space, he runs a prop shop for Broadway shows and all kinds of different things. And one of the props that he had was this ship. So one of the offices came with the ship. And I was like, that's cool. So I had it for probably 4 or 5 years. And then when I retired, I asked him, I said, can I buy it from you? And he just gave it to me as a gift. So it's pretty cool. It works out great. I love it. I love the.
Yes, I like it. I like ship, pirates. This kind of words is something that they like so much.
Yeah,
but let's talk about the little Jimmy. Tell me something about you when you was a child, and where are your talent back in your childhood?
You know, that's a good question because, and I'll tell you why. Because, like, you know what? When you get older, it's weird. When you get older, you start to figure out like what you did when you were young that kind of got you where you are today, right?
Yeah.
So, as a kid, if I remember, correctly, and I think I do, I was very like mechanical. Like I took a lot of stuff apart. Half of it never went back together again because like springs went flying or whatever. And I guess that's just part of having that kind of mechanical mind type of thing. Um, and so that's how I kind of like started with that sort of stuff, and how it translated into how I worked is a little bit strange, but it's just a lot of times it's um, relationships that you have with friends or acquaintance people that you meet that are in different industries, things like that. A roommate of mine was a industrial designer, and I was going to school for accounting or something like that, which actually funny how it worked out. A lot of those kind of skills that I learned during that portion of what I went to school for that I never really kind of used, business management, whatever that might be. A little bit of it came in handy. A lot of it was kind of probably outdated. I kind of went through that in uh, the late 70s, right? So computers weren't where they are and stuff like that. So from a business point, there wasn't a lot of useful information, but there was a lot of stuff that I kind of like understood a little bit. I think a little bit more than I wouldn't have if I didn't have that early experience with it. But my interest really wasn't with that kind of thing. Like I couldn't work a 9 to 5 sit down job. So, like I said, my roommate of mine, I was still going to school at the time. And, he was an industrial designer, and, he had stuff, and he was like making these models because he was, worked at a electronics kind of thing. So he was making models of, say keyboard or, all kinds of like computer equipment, stuff like that. And I was like, that's like kind of like a fun kind of job, like a thing. I can dig that. But I didn't have like the art experience or anything like that. So I kind of gravitated more towards like I said, that mechanical. And then a few opportunities came up with a friend of mine who was involved in the toy industry, and it was like, do you want to do a little job here or a little job there? And a buddy of mine and I helped. He helped me figure out how to do these prototypes, and over the years, I mean, back in those days, it was a lot different than it is now. Like now, with the 3D printing and everything is done digitally. You can get the stuff perfect. The stuff that we agonized over to try to get every little detail and everything. Now, if done correctly, you can make it look, exact. Same thing with the printing. We always tried to get, copies. We would do it out of clay, and we never were able to do certain wall thicknesses and things that were really required, but were very, very time consuming to do. And now, like, the 3D printers, you're able to do so much more. But that said, that early, I think, mechanical kind of thing got me where that's what I would be happy working, is more with my hands than really with my head.
I think that for every artist, what you are now is composed by many versions of you that you were in the past. No, we are
Yeah.
like a mashup of many versions of ourselves in some way. No, and I think in everything that you have done in some way is a part of what you do today. No, because for example, as a YouTuber, I put together every stuff that I did because before I was a filmmaker, also a musician, a writer. So now when I do stop motion, I put together all these kind of skills. No, so I think that everything that you done in some way create the actual version of you, and probably our actual version of us will be a part of our future version.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right about that.
Tell me something about the first time that you met the other member of the Horsemen studio. Talking about the founders, so CB and Eric. Do you remember the first time you met them, and in which occasion?
Absolutely. I bet I met both Eric and CB at McFarlane Toys. So one of the people I was talking about that was that kind of got me into the toy industry doing models and stuff. He was one of the design guys at McFarlane. His name was Tony Bellato, and Tony hired me. Was nice enough to hire me, and basically for a job that was not defined at the time. You know, I was to do the prototypes and stuff, but you know, at that time, I didn't have any kind of experience with action figure prototypes, which is a lot different than some of the other stuff we were doing. We were doing stuff for like, you know, Barbie dolls, things like that. So I didn't really have a lot of experience with that, but I, you know, had enough information that I could figure out how to do it. So I got hired by Tony to do that. So basically, now I kind of forgot where I was headed on this. Where
the time that you met the
Eric and CB, gotcha. So, like I said, Tony hired me. So I came in more for like a part-time stuff when they were doing the showroom. So I started showing up at the shop doing an outside project for McFarlane Toys in their showroom, and Eric was there. I met Eric, and then, you know, we started doing little projects together, and because I was starting to do some more molding and casting, and, you know, he would have me mold this little piece, and we, you know, and then that's basically how our relationship, our friendship started. And, you know, it worked out really well over the years. And then CB is a really interesting thing, because the building that they moved into was a machine shop before it was McFarlane Toys design area. So the guy who ran the machine shop, you know, was closing the place down. But he said to the guy, "Hey, listen, you know, the new people that are taking over, they make toys." So CB said to the guy, like, "Really?" He goes, "I don't know. I think the guy is like McFarlane or something like that." And so CB is like, "Really?" Now, he had been going to Hubert School, which is a cartooning school in New Jersey. And he came from Indiana all the way out there to go to cartoon school. And so he had a part-time job working in this machine shop. And the guy said to him, "Yeah, it's like toy company or whatever is moving in." So he made sure he was there when the new person came in, who was this guy, Tony. And he told him, you know, he told him his whole story. He was from Indiana. He came out here to go to Kubert School. He's into comic books and wanted to get into the comic book field. But if you need some help, I'm willing to, you know, I worked in a machine shop. I can do all this kind of stuff. And I know what this is all about. And at the time, I'm sure that CB probably knew more about Spawn than Tony did, because Tony was just really new to it. And I bet these guys have been looking at those magazines for many years before that. So it just, I think, like everything, it's less about how you train for this kind of thing and just how things fall into place. I mean, for me, there's no other way that we could have connected other than, like I said, CB working a part-time job in a machine shop that all of a sudden turns into a toy design company. I don't think that happens very often, you know? And, you know, Eric, I think, I know he has an interesting story too, as far as showing Todd some of his pieces and coming from Tennessee up to New Jersey and saying, you know, just work there, work in New Jersey. And he went from college right to a place in northern Jersey, which is, you know, weird in itself.
Yeah, I think also it's about destiny, because if is in your destiny, there is this way, that way got you in some way. It also maybe in different way, and sometimes in strange way. You know what I mean. So that is a example. That was the destiny that you meet the CB and then Eric in this situation. No, I think.
Yeah.
And how is Todd McFarlane behind the scene? Is a larger than life character?
Yeah. He's a very interesting guy. And I got to tell you, the more, you know, like in the early days, you know, Todd had his way of doing things, and I realize now more than you know, I realized over the years, like he did kind of break the mold a little bit on how things were manufactured and how, and it was just a different time at that time. There were a lot more, he like kind of broke the gate for more independence, you know, and then at the time was, you know, Palisades and Resource and people like that were starting, because basically they saw Todd do not necessarily the completely traditional way that action figures were done. But these were more detailed, more all that kind of stuff on it. So it got more attention. And then more people, anytime they, you know, you do stuff like that, people are, I want to do the same thing. I want to do that. And more people jumped in. So like he was very much a leader in the action figure field, you know, realm.
Yeah. I think he's still a leader. Also, he's a guy with a good charisma. No, you need to be.
And you know what? The interesting thing about him was, and I know this for a fact because he told this to Tony, and you know, Tony, he would be very much like, you know, like there's certain parameters where money allocated to certain portions of whatever you're doing, you know what, and if the production, the unit cost for the thing was this amount, he had no problem going over that to get what he wanted. And he would be like, you know what, we'll just not make as much profit, or, you know, figure it out somewhere else. But he kind of got what he wanted, where other companies, like a larger company, would get to that point and they'd say, boom, that's it.
Yeah.
We'll put this amount of deco on to get us to the exact number we need to be, and then after that, we can't do anymore. He was, at least at the time, and I understand where he's at, because kind of like that's how we are too. We're trying to attract as many people. We're trying to attract as many fans of this kind of thing, and we also want to have our stuff, come to our standards, and that's kind of like the feeling that we have. If we need to spend a few pennies here or a few dollars there to make it to this point, we'll figure something out somewhere along the way. We'll, whatever it may be, but people really want to see that kind of figure. They expect it.
I think that this is the difference between a visionary and someone that just make a product. If you are a visionary, you follow your vision, your idea, instead to think only about budget. No, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. But it's also, it's interesting because it's such a challenge, because we all, that's probably one of the biggest topics of conversation, that everybody has. That's like the collector's budgets, like how everybody's very budget conscious, like how much, we want to make sure everybody gets what they what they want and what they deserve. But we don't want to overload them with too many figures, that's why I think they kind of cut back on smaller drops, just because it's unfortunately the figure prices are starting to creep up a little bit here and there. We're able to keep them as low as possible. Yeah. I mean, I don't think that anything's changed at all, which is unheard of.
Absolutely. Who is the guy, or which one of you had the idea to call your company for Horsemen Studio?
I don't remember. I think maybe I had done it. I had said something, because originally there were three of us. I mean, there were four of us, and now there's three. One person left. But I think I may have said something like, 4 horsemen, four of us might work out.
Yeah.
So,
because you were 4 at the time, and 4 Horsemen is a strong name, no?
No, I don't think. Yeah, I think it was just the 3 of us. I don't think it would have been the 4 horsemen.
Maybe another name.
Yeah.
Actually, I did also an interview.
Probably would have. I think it would have, if we're from New Jersey. I think it would have been the Tree of Yews.
Do you live in New Jersey now? Do you live in New Jersey?
Right now, I'm in North Carolina.
North Carolina. So
yeah.
So when you need to go to the studio, how much time you need to go from North Carolina to New Jersey?
That's an 8-hour trip. So Wednesday we're gonna head up to New Jersey, and then Thursday I guess starts intern for a day.
Trevor suggests the Three Amigos Studios. That me remember more Chevy Chase, Steve Martin, and Martin Short. Actually, you know the movie, The Three Amigos. What is your your other passion beside what you told before? Other passion that you have in your life that you like so much? What kind of art do you prefer? You're more for music or comic books or movie? What is your favorite type of art?
I'm not good with that kind of thing. I don't know. I'm looking to get into something. I for some reason, I don't know. I think I have some attention ADD issues also. So sitting down for anything kind of like maybe limits me. I don't know
Okay.
what it is, but yeah, I'm into all kinds of music. I like, I listen to music all day.
Do
I'm
you
just
do you, do you never try to play an instrument?
yes, and I was awful.
Oh,
It truly is a talent you have to have.
yeah.
It's
Because
very
uh,
hard.
because if someone doesn't know you and watch you because of the long hair, the beard, you looks like a musician. Actually, if I can see a picture with you with a guitar, I can trust.
Well, if that's how it worked, then I'd be okay. But I know that's not how it works.
Yeah, absolutely. And tell me, what is your reaction when you start to see that this community start to growing up after Mythic Legion, especially? Tell me, you was super surprised, or you thought maybe because the quality, maybe someday in the future will happen and then happen. So, what is your reaction about it?
No, no, it was very much a surprise and very, it was building behind the scenes, and then we'd find out, oh, there's, a group here, or there's a group there, or there's so a lot of stuff was going on behind that. At least I didn't know. I know CB was a little bit more, had a little bit more of a pulse of what was going on during the internet time at that time. But no, we never really thought it would kind of like turn into something like this, which it was, to me, such a pleasant surprise, because I never thought I would be able to put like I always thought like we could, we're always good at, and I think this is going back to McFarlane times, putting on like a show, like doing a display or doing something like that, because we would do it at thing. So as far as building that kind of thing, yeah, we have no problem. But like a community of something like that, it's not something you would normally even try to, like, how nowadays I think you can think about it more, like with all of the last few years of how communities work and how the internet works and how things go viral and stuff like that. You can understand it, but that was 4 or 5 years back. So, it seems like not a long time, but in some ways it was a real long time ago. People, I didn't understand how that would work like that. So, yeah, I mean, I guess that's one of those kind of things where it's like, that's the same kind of thing as like how we all came together, just by happenstance. Like, this was the kind of thing that people gravitated to, that just caught on, and people shared and told other people and told friends. Like, I mean, a lot of the people who are retailers, they all had many people come into their stores or wherever and ask, do you guys carry Mythic Legions? And then finally they would reach out and be like, yeah, we would like to, be a distributor or be a retailer. So a lot of the people who are retailers are fans. So they took what they collected themselves, and it made it easy, because they were selling something they liked. So, there were a bunch of different things that made it work right. And, now is the thing to just keep it going and try to expand as much as we can.
Yeah. I give you another question. It's a little bit more weird question, I should say. If you have a possibility to meet your 20 years old gym version. What is your advice for your younger version?
Is everything else everything else is like going to happen the same?
Depend of your, maybe you can change the time
Well, I would
time.
tell him not to worry as much as he did. I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know what I would really tell a 20-year-old Jim Preziosi. Oh man. I guess get into action figures.
Yeah.
Or yeah, I mean, like I said, I mean it's not it's not, like I envy those kind of people that have that sort of direction. Like when they're young, they want to be whatever it may be, a musician, this or that, I mean, I really are envious about those people. I'm envious of people that are also, have that kind of just it just like very, very like no, forget it. I'm good.
Because I think that if you have since when I was a kid, my dream was to become a musician, a singer, no, songwriter, and
Yeah.
in some way it's good because you know what do you want, who you are, no. But in the other way is also a problem if you struggle to achieve your goal, no, because become an issue in some way. Also because if you decide to be an artist, not just an hobby, but a job, you need to fight a lot, with so many things, with so many barricades. uh, I know that because as a musician, I did something really interesting. Like I was opener of a popular band in Italy. I tried to publish an album. I published only one song. The reason why I started writing is to forget the music business, because in Italy it's really a bad business if you are different of the market. Become difficult find someone to distribute your music and promote your music. So it's tough. So in a way, I understand what you mean when you say to envious about someone that maybe since when he was a kid, they know what they want, no? But in the others, if you watch this situation with another perspective, you say, yeah, maybe you become a prisoner of your idea in some way, no?
Yeah, I mean, it's just like I think part of it is focus. Like there's some people just can focus to that point that this is what they want to do. I wasn't like that, and I just kind of like I stumbled into it. So I mean, it's a I always say it's a silly way to make a living. It's a silly business to be in, like making toys, but it's really wonderful and gratifying to see, just the people, especially we've been doing for all these years for Mattel and Hasbro, and people always liked what we did. No one really complained too much about it, but now it's different. It really, you can see it really warms their heart as far as like like the figures, and they're really just getting so much more into it than your average Batman, Superman type of figure. And it's just a very nice warm feeling to know that people really take it to a little bit different level than I think than their average stuff. They kind of have a little bit more of a personal touch to this.
Yeah. And we know the Legion's Con is absolutely 100% around the corner. What is your feelings? How you prepare to LegionCon beside to prepare the showcase. But beside that, I speak about more emotionally, or speaking of friendship, or people that you will meet in 1 week. So tell me your feelings today about LegionsCon. This is so close now.
You know what? I to be honest with you, I haven't really seen a lot of stuff that's going to be at Legions Con.
Ah,
So I'm actually pretty excited to see, everything, all the new stuff, all that. But the energy is the thing to really check out. The amount of enthusiasm that people have, and it carries itself throughout from Thursday. If the person was lucky and got an intern pass, they're there for intern day, and that same intensity goes from that day until Friday. I mean Sunday at about 5 o'clock. Everybody is just raring to go. A lot of people haven't seen each other for a year. Some people, live across, around the corner and hang out all the time, but still travel together and go down there and hang out. So it's a mix of everything. I'm always shocked of, the travel, the people flying in and stuff like that. Some people, it's just insane. Some of the one people I've heard, Australia, things like that. Like, whoa.
one day will be also someone from Italy. One day.
Yeah. Okay.
My schedule for my books, because now I have two publishers in Italy. So, for example, this year I published a book from one publisher last April, and last September I published another book. So when I publish a book, I need to touring a little bit to promote the book. So it's not easy to find a spot to do everything, no, sometimes.
Mhm.
But it's something that I want to do one day when will be possible, between my writing stuff and other things that I do. So let's see.
Yeah.
Because I think speaking of the community, one of the bigger spot on this community, I saw that when I see some report, some video. I saw the documentary on on the Horsemen Studio channel about this unbelievable customizer. I think this is pretty unique. Not every fandom have these skills. No, what is your reaction when this custom side of the community start to growing and become something really different? If you compare the Legions community and other toy community, I'm a customizer, but not for Legions. I'm still working. You can see something in the background. I build a big castle for my stop motions, but I don't customize figure because to me are perfect, so I don't want to touch them. But what do you think about this huge creativity in this fandom? Was something unexpected to you?
I had no idea that there were that many people that were interested in customizing figures like that. The only ones I would see customized is like CB would make a crazy figure or something like that, and that's how at McFarlane. That's how Eric, CB, and I have our own figures. Because actually CB made a Corn Boy figure where he took his hair and, it was crazy stuff like that. I had no idea the kind of stuff that people were doing, with our figures and now with other ones. I don't think it was as popular back then, or maybe I just wasn't looking for it. But the stuff I see now is just incredible. I mean, I'm blown away on some of these, and the photography, not only with the customized figures, but then you add the photography level to it, and it's off the charts. It's very, very cool looking and very shareable. People able to put that on Instagram and let everybody else check it out. It's really, really cool stuff.
Are you a collector of action figure?
No, no. That's another thing I'm envious of like collector people. I don't
You don't
have.
have a copy of some of the Mythic Legions figures for you?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, for sure. A lot of them. Um, I always take like the figure obscura, like the uh, Christmas one, the Halloween figure obscura. Definitely, I always take home with me. But I've never been a huge collector of figures, but I do appreciate them. I like, you know, we came down to North Carolina. I actually brought a few with me just to do for a little decoration around the house here, and make it a little bit more like back home.
I think a figure obscura is an interesting line because it's a mashup between literature and toys. So it's a unique concept, I think, because of that, no? Because it's more than a toy line because of this side of literature. I remember when you did the Mask of Red Death, I love Edgar Allan Poe. So
Mhm.
I love Edgar Allan Poe. So I was mind blowing to me see a figure of that story. Really cool. Also,
Yeah.
like Christmas Carol as well. No, these classics literature books. Something. Are you a reader of books? Do you read novels?
No, I'm envious of people who read too.
What do you do in your free time?
Um, like I said, I'm the kind of guy I do. Basically I do home repair. It's all I do all day is home repair. But I don't have like a hobby per se. I'm into cars, so I'm working on cars. I'm into gardening, so I'm into doing gardening stuff. I'm into a few different things like that keep me busy all day. I'm not bored.
For example, to me, I unable to repair anything in my house. If something is broken, I'm really bad with. I go to piano. I'm fast to writing on computer, but if there is something to repair, it's a nightmare to me because I'm really bad in the stuff. So if sometimes if I try to repair something, it's possible that I will broke. They become worse, no, because I'm really bad to put together stuff. Sometimes that when if there is a fragile object, they try to take away this object from me because I can broken that if I because something on my hands are not really good. There is a message in the chat. Ricky Jones says, "Happy Day of the Dead, everyone," because November 2 actually in Italy is called the Day of the Dead, because they celebrate the dead.
Is Halloween big in Italy?
Now, yes, now become like a viral stuff in some way because also right here I live in a small town close to the mountain with an old castle in one side, an old church, forest. So I'm not in a big city, but the another town is close to this one. I saw yesterday in the street the statue of Dracula, other stuff. So become normal celebrate Halloween now in Italy. But back in like when I was a kid, wasn't popular like today in Halloween. But now today, Halloween is also big in Italy.
Yeah. The kids trick or treat or not? Do they
Sometimes,
trick?
sometimes,
Yeah.
but where I live, there's not so much kid because it's really. Uh, uh, I don't say that it's like abandoned neighbor of this town, but it's a small town. There is, for example, in the night there is a house where some youngsters start to play music really loud, but trick or treat, not so much kids sometimes, but this year not. You receive some kids with that knocked your door yesterday night.
No, not here. No, we're at the beach, so there's everybody's cleared out for the summer. So there's just a few people left.
Ah, so you are close to the ocean.
Yeah,
Do
yeah,
you like ocean?
I love it.
Yeah, I think is really cool. I love sea. I prefer in the winter or in the fall, because in the summer there's too much crowd. No, you know what I mean. Too
Yeah,
much people.
yeah.
They stay like just to change their skin color under the sun. I'm not a guy that I like stay on the sun. I'm more a night guy. You know what I mean. So I
Hmm.
remember one night, I tell you this little fun story. I play violin, but I'm really bad on violin. But I had this idea to go on the beach in the night with the moon and play violin. I did that one time. It was fun because watch the sea, because the interaction between sea and moon is interesting, no? And
Hmm.
play violin, watch that was a inspiring moment. Also, if I'm not really good with violin, honestly. But sea is a big inspiration for artists, no? There is a lot of song about sea, a lot of movie, no? I think the basic elements like water and fire still magic to them in some way. For example, I have a big house with one, two, three, with five fireplace, no? And if you hear the sound of the fire, you feel better, more quiet. You find your balance in some way. The
Yeah,
nature, I think, is the source of the real balance for the human being. Are you agree?
yeah. I think so. I'm a big fireplace guy.
Yeah, yeah. I love the fireplace. I love the water, the sea, and this kind of stuff. I wanna share with you one of my stop motion of Mythic. Do you wanna see?
Yeah.
I need only to find it on YouTube, so I need a few seconds. I want to share with you my last one. Let's see. Probably the last one was with Otto and Herzog. So I need only to search. So let's see. I go down because I upload a lot of videos, so I need to do a little research. But I wanna see your reaction on this. So I find it. Probably the reason to stop the ad because I need to share it in a few moments. You will see my most recent because I do reviews on the channel. I do unboxing. My favorite content that I like to do with action figure, also with Mythic Legions, is do stop motion because there is also sorry, I see some comments in the chat. Edoardo Mastrocola actually is an Italian DJ that he did a lot of interview with me with my books and says, "Good night, Mr. Alan from Edo Radio Agora is a DJ in Italy and is a follower of my channel." So now I want to
Nice.
share with you, and he stay awake because in Italy actually now is almost 2 a.m. To me, it's normal because I live in the night. But thank you, Edoardo, to watch the show. Me and Jim, they like us as Italian blood on his vein. So, I want to share the stop motion with you. So it's here. I think now is on screen. You can see. No, you can see another stuff. I need to because I need to remove from the screen this one. Now maybe let's see how to stay. Oh, there we go. This is the stop motion. Are you ready? I believe it's the episode number 13 of my Mythic Legion stop motion series.
I still don't know what happened to Sir Elijah. I'm beginning to lose hope. Hey, what's that noise? Damned ogre, I won't let you desecrate our monastery.
How pathetic the Templars are. I've never been able to stand them. Kurzog, now grab this debauched man and let's take him to the chief.
What is this place? Where have you brought me?
Shut up, prisoner.
Are you the leader of these outcasts?
Outcasts, do you want me to spear you right now, you idiot?
Silence. Find him a cell immediately.
Let him go.
And who are you?
Let him go if you don't want to meet a nasty end. Ha! 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 I'm already trembling with fear, you buffoon.
I know who you are. All the oldest songs speak of you. You are Otho, a knight who has become a legend.
There's no time for introductions now. Run! Run before he gets here.
So you're still alive, Otho. I thought I'd taken care of you for good.
You were wrong to underestimate me, Urzak, and this time you'll lose.
We'll see about that. The last time we fought, I won. Why should you win this time?
Because in my wanderings, I have learned things you don't even know exist.
Wait a minute. Who are you? What are you doing inside the monastery?
My name is Torgun Redfin.
How did you get into the monastery?
The door was open. But instead of asking me these stupid questions, don't you want to know why I'm here?
All right. You've got me curious. Tell me.
We were a group of surviving dwarves. For months, seasons, we continued to resist the attacks of the dark forces until we were scattered by our enemy. I don't know where my companions ended up. I'm the only one left. But I'm not giving up, and you have to help me. We have to find out what's behind all this.
All right. You've convinced me, dwarf. You can stay. I'll get you something hot to eat, then we'll smoke a pipe by the fire, and you can tell me the rest.
I'm sorry about your friend.
If you're referring to Otho, I barely knew him.
I wasn't talking about him. I was talking about Sir Elijah.
Do you like it?
I love it. I love it. It's awesome. It's
Thank
really
you.
good. It's really good.
I wrote the story, and also the dialogue, everything. I like do that because it's like when I do a book. For example, this one is my latest novel that I released in Italy. Is the translation of the title is Letter from Destiny. However, I like to create story, build words. I'm like I like the feeling when you create a world. No, the same thing happened when I'm writing, because actually I published my 8th novel, but since I started writing in 2007, and to date I wrote 44 novels so far, because I love go in this other dimension, no, where you find this character, you find the story. Is something that I like so much. For example, now I want to start a new story, but I'm busy as a YouTuber. I'm busy with other stuff, so I need to postpone the beginning of my first draft, no, because there is different stage, when you do a book. And my favorite is the first draft. It's like a travel to the unknown, because you don't know what will happen in the story. Sometimes I do plots, but I prefer don't do plot and just follow the idea, the river of the idea. Is my favorite thing. But to do that, you need to be to have space to don't have other things. No, like this week there was on Luca Comics, and by the way, I see a comments of a solid fan of the channel, Damien Ristori, says he come back. So when come back, Damien, he asked me also something from Luca Comics. Actually, Damien, you can find my interview that they did with Emily from Hasbro, G.I. Joe team, Dwight Starr from Marvel Legends, Chris from Star Wars, and Ivan from Transformers. I did an interview with all of them together in person, so you can see the interview on this channel to know everything that was revealed, and also my full coverage. And there is a question for you, Jim, by Damien. Can I ask Jim what he worked and on when with Mattel and Hasbro? Just curious, Jim.
Mattel was we started with Master Universe, but we did like these Harry Potter statues, and then so basically we did the 2000X He-Man Master Universe stuff, and then unfortunately that didn't really pan out for them. Then they went into DC, and then we did a ton of DC stuff for them. And then we kind of like did a pitch piece that actually caught on, and that's when we did the relaunch stuff of Master Universe stuff. So we actually did Master Universe twice for Mattel and all the DC stuff. And then I think most recently we started doing, this is probably about 5 years back, we did a little bit of some more Master stuff. Hasbro was a bunch of stuff we did not too long ago, but a more just kind of like service kind of work. Nothing big with Hasbro, but Mattel we had a good almost 20-year run of stuff.
You did awesome stuff with Mattel for Motu. I mean, the classics, the Club Grayskull line, really good stuff.
Yeah.
I think for example, I'm a cartoon guy for Motu, not for Masters. I love the Filmation cartoon. In my opinion, I collect also the new line, the cartoon collection from Mattel, but they are not really accurate like the figure that you did with Super 7 also, but with Mattel, I mean, I'm talking about the Club Grayskull line, because that line was 100% cartoon accurate. Also, every little details. And thing is, now we don't have the same quality, in my opinion, speaking of accuracy, that you did with Club Grayskull, for example. So, I'm honest with you, I miss the For Horsemen Day with Motu because the Motu for Horsemen figures were more accurate than today's project. I'm honest with you, but
I really haven't seen too many in person. So,
as a collector, I miss your contribute to this to the brand Motu, because where, in my opinion, where I'm a guy that between aesthetic and articulation, I'm to the aesthetic side, absolutely 100%. I don't care to have anytime double joints, super articulated figure. I want to see a perfect figure. Speaking of the aesthetic, also in case of a movie-related figure or cartoonish, I want to see 100% cartoon accurate. I want to have in my hand like a character jump out from the screen. No, you know what I mean?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
And now, my friends, you are the third victim of a new segment of my show. This segment will be introduced by another version of myself from another dimension. So let's see what is the message for the anti Mr. Allen. Let's see.
Anti-Mr. Allen, an alternate version of Mr. Allen. Let me introduce a brand new segment of the show called Shooting the Guest. During this segment, Mr. Allen, yes, him, the weirdo dressed in black, will say 2 words, and the guest must choose only one of them. The segment will continue until the guest has had enough.
So this is this part of the show. So actually, I will say 2 words, and you need to pick only one. Random could be about collecting real life, music, movie, everything. And you need to pick only one. If you have a reason why, you can put why you choose this one instead of another one. Okay? Let's start.
I think so. Let's give it. Let's see what happens.
Again, it's like a game. So the first one is cosmic or mythic. Which you choose?
Cosmic.
Okay.
I'll tell you why. Because I think cosmic is going to really start getting some really big stuff in the next couple of. There's so much creativity there. The mythic stuff is the mythic stuff. It's kind of like I do love it. I mean, I get why it's popular and all that, but to me, the cosmic stuff, I think you can go even crazier. There's a lot to do there. So I'm a cosmic guy.
Okay, Damien says mythic. So also the people in the chat,
It's fine.
the people in the chat also can play the game if you want, guys, because anti Mr. Allen, the man dressed in white, put this segment. The next 2 words are Marlon Brando or Robert Redford.
I guess Marlon Brando. I mean, I don't really that familiar with either one, but I do know some Brando movies. I don't hate either one, but if I had to choose, he was good in The Godfather.
Yeah. Marlon Brando, in my opinion, just my opinion, but I think is probably one of the best actor of all time because he can change himself, also change the mannerism, no? Every time he did a part in a movie. So I think he's really good. And DC or Marvel?
I would probably say DC just because I have so much more experience with that stuff, doing it for all those years.
He-Man or Skeletor?
Oh, Skeletor. That's easy.
Yeah.
No one likes He-Man.
And Italian food or American food?
I think Italian food.
Yeah, Italian food is awesome. What is your favorite Italian plate that you like so much?
You know, it's the one you always go back to. Pizza.
Pizza. Lasagna. Do you like lasagna?
Of course. Yeah.
It's one of my favorite food.
Yeah. No, it's, pizza, I think, is the one. Do you find the right place or,
Wine or beer?
Beer.
Dog or cat?
Oh, I don't know if I can do that one. I have one of each right here. I have.
Which dog do you have? Which dog do you have?
I have a golden retriever.
Yeah, I know.
And I have a cat right here that's sitting. Hold on one second. You want to see the cat?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, sure. Oh, it's beautiful, black and white. Is a male or is a female?
It's a boy.
It's a boy.
Yeah. And the dog is a golden retriever. Cassie, come here. Come here, hon. Come here, baby.
Oh, it's beautiful. Oh, I love it.
Oh,
I have a dog too. I have a pug. A pug. My
oh
dog,
yeah?
yeah. Like Eric Treadaway, he has two pugs.
Yeah, he has two. Yeah.
It's my second one. Actually, it's my third dog because my first dog was a British Bulldog and passed away in 2018. Then I got my first pug that unfortunately passed away last March, and now I have a new puppy. This is about actually 2 days ago. He's about 10 months.
Oh,
10
okay.
months old, so he's still young. I love pugs. The pugs are so different than other dogs, no? Because
Oh,
they
yeah?
yeah, they are unique. So when you start to have a pug, you can stop. I wanted also to have another one, but I don't know if a two male can go together well. No, two male, maybe no. Someone is alpha. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Eric has two females, right?
Probably I don't know if they are male or female. I saw them in the actually I saw them in the documentary on the dragon because they appear in documentary. But we go back in the game and we have about other 10 minutes in the game and then we go back to normal with just the normal interview. But let's see, bicycle or motorbike?
Bicycle.
And summer or winter?
Summer.
Action figure or statue?
Action figure.
Rock or heavy metal?
What was that again?
Music, rock music or
Oh.
heavy metal music?
Rock.
Rock. Elvis Presley or Chuck Berry?
Elvis.
Elvis. And Elvis, I think, in my opinion, was the first ever superstar in music. No, if you think about this history of music, before Elvis wasn't weren't someone like him so popular, so big on stage. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think any of those other guys, they didn't like he did movies. He did, you know what I mean? He did. I don't think any of those other guys did movies, stuff like that.
Yeah, I think for music, but also speaking of the stage performance, no, where his performance were more than a normal concert, no.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, let's see other comparison in music: Peter Gabriel or Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson's, he really can't go back. Yeah, I guess I got to go with Michael Jackson on that one.
Okay.
Just on sheer volume, right?
And let's see, mountain or sea? But I think they know that your answer.
Yeah, I'm a sea guy.
Do you like swim? Do you swim?
Yeah, no, I love it.
Did you ever go on a ship or on a boat?
You know what? Yeah, I've been on boats and stuff before. To be honest, I get seasick,
Oh, okay.
so I'm not great on boats.
Let's see. Morning or night?
I would say eve night.
So you're a night guy like me.
Kind of. I'm not a morning guy.
Me too. Me too. To me, the morning is the time when I go to sleep. The morning.
I don't know
I
if I'm that much, but
I prefer the night because to me the night is like a white sheet of paper. No, when you can do everything you want. There's no one that can call you on the phone, so you have more free space. So I like that. There's something magic in the night that I like so much. Even if I don't live in a really noisy place, because where I live is full of nature, full of trees. So it's not like a big city when you see this noise over and over during the day, But however, I prefer the night, prefer the moon. I prefer the moonlight. Oh, this one is for you. Moonlight or sunshine?
I do enjoy both. That's a tough one. Uh, I think a moonlit night is probably better. Yeah, I'll take moonlit.
We are
Moon,
on the same page. And but I think it's enough for the game. So, so move on to more normal question. If you can describe your life with just one word, which word do you pick?
lucky.
Lucky is super cool. Be lucky. Do you believe in destiny?
Yeah, I I'm like I believe in like not really like superstitious, but tradition type stuff. Like if you do like to do something like a tradition, that sort of thing, you don't want to break the tradition, or I just kind of I have that kind of like you have your destiny, what you were. Um, Whatever you're supposed to be, you're going to be that. You know, all
I
the all the things that you do um, bring you to this to the that next place. Whatever may happen at that next place, who knows? So I'm the kind of guy like this. I don't know if this is the what you're asking the question, but I'll give you an example. You could tell. So I'm the kind of guy that if I'm like trying to leave the house and this happens and then that happens and I can't find the key to the car and then I can't find my wallet because I need my wallet and all this stuff. As crazy as that happens there, when I get in the car, I realize maybe there was a car accident that I was destined for if I left 5 minutes before. So even though I'm as angry as I can to get, because I want to be out of here 10 minutes ago, I can almost in my mind say, well, 10 minutes ago, there was a car at that corner that went through that light and I would have hit it or they would have hit me. I don't know if that's the answer you were, or
no,
kind
is the answer that I was looking for, because I feel the same thing in some way, because I think that, because whatever you can try to do, I think there is like a design for you in your future. And if you are not designed to be something, you can fight against everything, but you will not be that guy, for example. Or sometimes it's difficult to understand your destiny also, no? Especially if you are, to me, for example, I'm ambitious, no? If you're a big ambitious, so you live for that, for your dream, to achieve your goal, no? And sometimes you need to pass through many barricades, problem, issue. Maybe you are not so lucky, and you say, why not? I'm not so lucky. Maybe because this is not my destiny. Maybe I have an adverse fate. You know what I mean? So sometimes I think a lot about that, because I did some good things that are really important. I was on TV, for example. I was in big stage, but every time I find it was always up and down. No, the people, because some people have a lucky destiny, no, like an open road for you, and you just need to go to the road. No, someone have a more intricate road to walk. No, because it's your destiny. Fight against. Because I know sometimes I can think like you. If I can find my key, if I can find the right bus, maybe it's not the right day to go outside, no, because maybe there is an accident around the corner. But for other things, like to achieve a goal, to become something, not because you become something when you got something, but because you work for this goal every day, and you see sometimes this goal looks like so far away, like the galaxy of Star Wars, no? So, I believe in destiny. Sometimes I think that destiny is tough, no? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, we used to the big thing that we thought early on when we first started, which was 1999, that you know, by our connection with Mattel, that was going to be our destiny. Was going to be, we were able to get that whatever deal that everybody's like, oh my God, those, they hooked up with Mattel, and then they got their own figures done, because that's not how it works, And there were a couple of times when people were interested in some of the things that we're doing, and there would have been a possibility of a license or something, then it kind of fell through. And looking back saying, wow, that was pretty good that we didn't do that fell through. So, some things, like everything else, some things one day seem like it was a huge disaster. You put a little time behind that, and you look like you did the best move in the world. You avoided the biggest problem imaginable. So maybe what I would have told that 20-year-old that I needed to give advice way back in the 20 questions back, learn to look at things on both sides, and look, don't take that what happened today as final, and I'll understand that some things today might be bad, but that might be what's good tomorrow. What happened, especially like those and I'm talking about like if you are an artist, and we're always doing the action figures, we're kind of like performing all the time. as those figures come out, people are talking about how they are. So it's very much like someone performing on a stage, and you got to make sure you're prepared when you get up and all that stuff. So I think that that's probably the best way to do it.
Yeah, I think also your advice for your 20 years old version is a wise advice. Sometimes it's not easy when you are in, because I think that when you look back, you see the design of your life. You see also the bad moment that in some way help to create your actual version, no? But the problem is when you are in the present, no? In the present is the tougher moment to live, no? Because you need to understand what you do and watch yourself in different side, in both, in a good way, in a bad way. Try to have the overall look of everything, no? It's not easy be a guy that can see his life overall, not just be captured by your problem, your issue. No, you need to watch the big picture. No, but it's not easy in life because you are so focused in something that you want, and something that you put your effort, and become tricky. Find every day a wise look at what you do, and an overall look on your life. What do you think?
An overall look on my life.
Yeah, in general, if you think it's difficult, have overall look every day, just not stay focused just one things, but see the big picture, no, of what you do every day, your life in general. How you pass through the how you live the bad moments, how you find a way to pass through the bad moment and rebirth in some way.
I'm not sure how to answer that. I'm not. I mean, I don't know. I don't know I don't really know what to say to that.
So you're positive. I think that you are a positive in general. No, overall, it looks like
100%, 100, yeah, 100%. I'm that. I mean, that's what kept the business going through certain periods of time. Is like, you never know what that next phone call may be. You never know what that next conversation that may happen tomorrow, that may change what's going on. And it happened throughout the years of doing what we did. We're doing that kind of service work like that. It's a roller coaster type thing, because you're doing figures, they're getting released, there's a big hype, you're working towards, like Toy Fair and Comic-Con and these different milestones throughout the year. And like, oh, sales are going crazy, and like, oh, they're not selling. Then 2 weeks later you hear that the stuff's not selling in the stores, and like, oh, they got to cut back on there. So like I said, doing that kind of early stuff was like a roller coaster. Now, luckily, we're even more set. We kind of know what we're doing, and it actually works better, because we would have to bounce around. Oh, this new job came in, and you know how things are. When one thing comes in, then 4 other things come in, but then you can sit for a week doing nothing. That's the beauty of what we do now. Everybody kind of knows what they're doing, and there's such a nice flow with everybody at work there. It's really wonderful.
Yeah, I like your positive way, because I think it's the right way to go through everything. Also because to me, for example, it's not easy be positive every day. Someday I am, someday I'm more negative. So I am an up and down guy. You know what I mean. But I really envious of someone like you that is positive, because I think it's more wiser be positive than be negative. Because if you're negative, maybe you do the wrong thing sometimes, the wrong choices, just because you're negative. I'm right.
Yeah, I mean, I've always, I mean, I even with what we did at Four Horsemen with the figures, and I was always like, there's no way to know what we're doing, is going to be received unless we do it, right? So however we package things, or there's no way to predict what's going on. I'm trying to think back. I also ran like the kids like sports things at during the years when they were young, and everybody have all this conversation, and they all of a sudden, no one's going to do that, no one's going to do this, no one's going to do that, and I'm like, how do you know unless you do it? So I've always had that. That's kind of like my philosophy. Like, it may be a little crazy, try it. Try it, and you're not going to know. There's been a ton of different things, like people like, oh, it's never going to work, it's never going to work. I'm with that person that says, let's give that a shot and see if it works, as opposed to, well, I've seen it fail 5 times, it's probably going to fail a 6th time. Okay, maybe it will. But that's kind of like that's how I gravitate more towards that.
Okay, speaking of the one of the things that I like so much about your company is that it's like a family. I did an interview with many other members of the studio, and I saw this mutual friendship and passion behind your company. Tell me something about this beautiful atmosphere on the studio.
Well, yeah, I think if someone asked me, what is your what was your key to success, or what's your biggest accomplishment at Four Horsemen, I would say that me being able to hire almost everybody there, other than a couple people who arrived after I retired, but I basically hired everyone there through recommendations and people that we knew, and trying to get people in and stuff. So it's basically a hand-picked group that everybody just kind of gets along. Everybody has the same, general attitude as far as what we're doing, and it's very easy. There's not a lot of, everybody kind of knows what they're doing. So it's really like I think it's fun for everybody there, because it makes work easy. It's a pretty relaxed environment, and you're kind of doing stuff that you like. So that's very cool. And it's nice to see people happy at work. It's nice to see that kind of thing. And it's also nice to be in a position that you're able to do that. Some other, I do get, and to be honest, we were like that years ago, because you had, when you had other people working for you, there was always budgets and this and that. And now, with having enough people and a little bit more, we can kind of make sure everybody has what they need to make themselves comfortable at work, you know.
Yeah. There is a comment in the chat. Tell me, what do you think about it? Damien Ristori says, don't take this personally and not a dig at you, Jim, but I think people have gotten awkward with not realizing that it takes to design any toy before selling. We have too many choices, perhaps. What do you think about this comment? And I'm apologize for my bad reading. When I read in English, my accent is really bad. But when I start to reading,
I'm trying to. So he's saying there's too many choices.
Probably, I think he means that.
I've gotten.
Probably he says that there are too many choices in the toy business. Maybe he means that probably.
Yeah, I mean, there are. I mean, he's absolutely right. I mean, I don't, I mean, the people like what we release, we try, like I've said before, we release more or less in a way that we don't want to overload our collectors as far as mythic releases or cosmic releases, but there's always other people getting involved in the business. They try to do stuff on Kickstarters and stuff like that, so I'm not sure. I think there are probably too many choices out there.
Yeah, there are a lot, but I think that
but I mean, everybody, has to get a shot if they want. I mean, that's their thing.
I agree with you. Everybody needs to have a shot, in my opinion. If they have an idea, why not? No.
Yeah, I mean, Kickstarter had made a big difference in how that kind of stuff is done.
Yeah.
But it also has some drawbacks too. So but yeah, it's like I said, yeah, everybody's kind of get the shot. So let them all.
You mentioned it before that now you are retired. And why you decide to retire from because you want more free time?
You know what? I turned. I'm getting close to being 69 years old.
Really, you look younger.
Yeah, that's all up here. I just figured it was time. I have other stuff I want to kind of do in life and stuff, and I enjoy being down at the beach and with the dogs and cats and my wife and the kids and all that stuff. And it's the group that is there now with George and Chris and those guys. They're young, smart guys that know what the community is looking for. So the company is in good hands. I don't have to worry about that sort of stuff. And, I'm basically doing the more important things in life, what I think are the more important things, like, the laundry, shopping.
I think also during this conversation, I am a guy that I have a good empathy with people, no? And during this conversation, I think that you are a free spirit, a guy with a free spirit, in my opinion. So I think also this choice is also related with that, because basically you are a free spirit. You need to be free. Also maybe from your project, because you need to be free with not stuck in something in some way. It's the reason why you love C, because C is freedom. I'm right?
Yeah, I think you might be right about that.
And by the way, Damien Ristori in the chat says that you look 59, not 69.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Over the years, it was like, I provided a certain part of what our company, CB, Eric, and I, and Eric did most of the, all of the design work, and especially with this stuff here. CB, did some fabrication work, and I had, my thing was more like, we just needed to get stuff done. Like, we would have a show in the city. We would do a show called Toy Apocalypse, which was like a little toy retrospective at a art gallery, which was kind of cool, and I still like that kind of thing. I'd be nice to actually do something like that, start doing that again. It's just a ton of work, and I'm not sure you get anything out of it, but it would be cool to do again. But I was just the one that, threw the stuff in the back of my truck and went into the city, and we did it there. So whatever kind of needed to be done, and like building walls in the shop or setting the shops up over the years and stuff like that. That's kind of like what I would do, because that's what I do, now there are, to answer your question, now there are more people like that can do the stuff that I would do. Like, we need to go into the city. All right, take the stuff in the city and set up in there, or whatever, rent a truck and go here, and rent to do this and do that. And now there are more than enough guys that are good at that side of thing. And I guess it's just my time to come back and check out and see what's going on every once in a while.
Cool. And there is a dream that you always had since when you was a kid and you never achieved? A forever dream for you that you never got in your life?
I tell you, it's crazy. I'm getting a lot of the dreams that I thought I was when I was a kid, there was a kid in my high school who sat in front of me in Spanish class, and he lived at the beach in the summer. And that was my dream. I was like, man, I would love to live at the beach. And that was one of my goals, is to get a place close to the beach. So
if you want to go to the beach, how much you can walk? Just a few minutes. You're so close to the beach.
Yeah, it's right outside. Yeah.
So if you open the window, you see the sea.
Yeah.
Wow, this is a paradise, man. It's cool.
Yeah, it's cool. It is. You know what? If you gave me a little time, I'm sure I could give you like 25. But right off the bat, no. I think I'm living all my dreams right now.
Great. And probably it's also because you was and you still today a positive man. Probably it's the result to be positive also, in my opinion. The reason why you realize all your dream. No, I think that you are a perfect example to say, guys, remember to be positive in your life, and you will realize all your dreams. No?
That I think. Now we're working on question whenever that was. That's what I'm going to tell my 20-year-old person. Be positive, and you will achieve all your dreams.
Yeah.
Thank you. That was the answer to that question.
Absolutely.
Good. We worked it out, right?
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Because that was a good question, and I couldn't come up with an answer, but I think I'm happy with it now.
Yeah, we find the answer together, man.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Tell me something about this long project. And now, actually, I did my pre-order, so can't wait to have my hands. About the dragon, how was born the idea? What? Tell me something about this idea to build this huge dragon that now is a dream come true for collectors like me.
Well, I think, probably a couple years back, the reality of doing that started to percolate. And then the fact that it was going to be the 10-year anniversary for Mythic, 25-year anniversary for Full Horsemen. And then, I think at the time we wanted to make this into like, a primo defining figure, something that people, there's been a few things coming out from Super 7 that are large scale like that. So it's not unprecedented. But I think it just had to be done. If we were going to do something, a big figure like that, this was the perfect time to do it. And I think, I haven't had any updates on the production or whatever. It's their huge project like that. So I'm sure things are progressing along.
I remember one of your big project with Super 7, and I told that also many times with Brian Flynn, because Brian Flynn is a solid guest of the show. We did 10 episodes probably, and this show was born with Brian Flynn. But was the Snake Mountain. When you did the Snake Mountain, the Super 7 was a big item, no? But was super cool. So
yeah.
I think you have done other good projects. So the Dragon is like a natural next stop, no, for you.
Right. And then, the thing like, Snake Mountain, yeah, that was digitally output. But there were a lot, I know, like when we did the stuff for Mattel, the Castle Grayskull,
Yeah.
that was all resin poured and stuff like that. That
Wow.
was amazing amount of work and the amount of materials to use to make that kind of thing. It was, now that I look back at it, I was like, oh my God.
Was I have also the Castle Grayskull made for you with Mattel. Another great piece. I love big item play set. So when I saw the dragon for the first time, because I saw the footage some people did for from last year, Illusions Con was mind blowing. No, details, quality. Wow, I think one of the reasons why you got this success with your company is also because the amount of attention of details. You don't find the toy. Speaking of, Damien says about too much stuff, but I think you are the project you do is so unique because of the quality and the unbelievable attention to details. No, and that's something that was capable to make the difference in the toy business. No, because no one do that. Someone try to do more, but so much details, so attention for details. I think is so unique for the Legion's line, in my opinion.
Yeah, and everything's so well thought out. Like this little adapter goes to something 2 figures back that we didn't have in there, and this interchanges with that, and yeah, it's really awesome stuff. And like I said, with the cosmic, like the fact that everything interchanges, you're putting heads from sci-fi figures on fantasy figures and vice versa. It's just a great way to collect and great way to it's a good hobby. I always consider, you know, collecting is a hobby, but, you know, sometimes can be very static. But this is a more immersive, a more active kind of hobby where you're, you know, whether you're doing customizing work, whether it's switching parts out strictly or repainting, or you're getting into, you know, custom heads or retrofitted parts and things like that that you've done yourself. Um, there's a little something for everybody. And then once the figure's done, if you're into photography or if you got a buddy who's a photographer, you go to that next level. So, you know, from a hobby standpoint, there's a bunch of different levels there. It's not, I want to get everyone that was released from this date to that date. You know, that's collecting. This is more, like I said, more immersive.
I agree. Is there, for example, when you can see also something when when I got my first figure of Mythic Legions, it was actually after my first interview with CB. Now I believe we did together probably 4 or 5 shows on this channel, on my show, 4 or 5 episodes. But I remember after our first conversation, I discovered Mythic Legions, and I totally fell in love. And when I got my first figure, I thought I need to do something creative with this figure because they are so beautiful. They need an environment. So I started to build this castle. I started to do stop motion. So it's a line that push creativity in the customers. No, I think that's really unique. That could be a simple pop and swap, but could be a customizer, could be a build diorama and castle. So it's something that, for example, I told this story probably with Trevor Williams last time that was on my show. If you have there is an advice for the people I do sometimes, especially for people that maybe are not Mythic Legions collector or Legions collector. If you have a bad day, open a Legions figure and you will be happy because they are so cool, so beautiful. And that happened to me sometimes. That maybe it was a bad day, but I got a figure, I opened the figure, I start to feel better. So it's like a therapy in some way, you know.
Well, I always say I consider these figures comfort food. You know, they do a little bit for every different type of person. You know, whatever you want to get out of it, I guess. You know, it's pretty cool.
Absolutely. Now we have also this new universe. This is open now with the project of the role play game, no, the board game of
yeah.
And I love it because actually I'm a board game. I'm more HeroQuest player, but one of the reasons why I felt in love with Mythic Legions because was a HeroQuest player, no, and it's the reason why I built also a gigantic chess board to play chess with Legions. I create a story with the castle. So I created a huge role-playing game also with the castle to play with my girlfriend, actually. And when I saw the project of role-play game, I said, this is the perfect next step for this line. Yeah. Do you play role-play game? What do you think of this project? What is your what was born this idea? Tell me something about it.
I don't play role play games or that sort of stuff, but I know that we had started down the path of video game, and the people that we work with the video game, very nice people. It just was a project that I think was a little bit more needed, a little bit more than that they were able to come up with, but it showed. It definitely showed us that there was some interest in that sort of gaming kind of thing, and I think we always kind of wanted to be there. And to be honest with you, I'm not sure that the video game was really in everybody's heart as far as like that's kind of like where we want to go. This is much more with the figures and the little, it just is exactly what is needed for that kind of game, exactly the way we're doing it. So, like a lot of things, some things you're just better off just doing it yourself. It might take a little bit longer. It might be a little bit more tedious and stuff. But I think when it comes to this game, I think we want to get it right. So I think we're gonna, but I know they've spent tons and tons of time with the design, the testing, a bunch of different things with stories and stuff. So I know that they've been working really, really hard. And like I said, I think this is the perfect format for that kind of thing. That I think Mythic is going to be perfect for that.
I agree. I totally agree. I think it's a perfect fit. It's like a perfect suit in some way. If you find the right suit to be in a party, that is a perfect suit, the board game, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you also people that play Dungeons and Dragons, we love that also. And also, in my opinion, is another way to share this line also to people that maybe are just a board game player and they will discover Legions with that. It's another way to promote the line. I like that.
I hope so. I think sometimes we do things like, the figure obscuras a lot of, because it's a little bit different, that people buy that and then they'll look and say, 4 Horsemen, and they'll do a little bit of a deeper dive, and those figures look good, and they'll get a figure. And so, any kind of way we can get like an entry point where people will see what we have, and then if they're interested, get into more and more stuff.
Yeah. Another question. Tell me I know it's a tricky question because you so many figures were released so far now in different line, but if you can pick just one, what is your favorite figure in Legions or figura obscura released so far? Your favorite, your number one?
I know that the Headless Horseman was I think is one of my favorite, and the Santa is one of my favorite figures. The Headless Horseman is like was really the first figure that we kind of came up with, but we didn't have time to do it before Halloween. So Eric came up with Krampus, that we would have enough time to get it for Christmas. And that's kind of what started us on our trajectory of figure obscura. And then that Headless Horseman came out, and that was a perfect figure. It was just perfect Halloween figure.
Absolutely. Traditional. Sometimes when I remember when the Krampus come out, I go back to watch the Krampus movie. When Deadless Horseman comes out, I watch it. Then immediately the Sleepy Hollow right in Barton. When Jacob Marley comes out, I start to watch the Christmas Carol, a classic version, and also Scrooge with Bill Murray. So I like because with figure obscura touch different. Also, for example, when comes out the Mask of Red Death, I rewatched the old movie with Vincent Price. Do you like Vincent Price, actor?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, in my opinion, it's one of the best. I watched some interviews that he did when he was when he was younger, he was older, was a guy with a big sense of humor. I discovered that was a surprise to me, because you see the character he played was so serious, but in real life was funny. It was funny. Vincent Price.
Nice.
So it's time to go to the piano for your outro, man. And thank you so much for this conversation. It was interesting. Also discover something about you, your passion, your positive way to see the life, your story, because it's pretty unique, because you find the destiny. You think you are a perfect example how the destiny can be a gift to someone to receive a good life with a good job and good situation. So is something that can inspire me also maybe for a possible character in a future novel. Why not? you're a pretty good story. How you got in this business is different for many other people that I did interviews on this channel. You just follow the river, your life, and you go in this business. No, it's interesting how you were designed, maybe before that that to become a part of this business, of this dream, I should say. So,
thank you very much.
You're welcome. Let's do the song for you. There is a guy with a free spirit. He loves the sea, and he has a positive way to see the life. And he become one of the 4 Horsemen from the 4 Horsemen studio. So thank you so much, Jim, to be on my show. Thank you so much. So thank you, Jim. A big pleasure. Was fun, was interesting, and also inspiring in some way. So I like it. But before to say goodbye to everybody, there is a little short fun video for you guys, just a dancing video. Take a look, guys, before to say goodnight to everybody.
Thanks for watching, my friends. And please smash that button, my friends. Please smash and subscribe. Help this channel to go to 100k subscribers, my friends. It's my dream. Please give me your love, guys. But also, guys, leave a comment and share this video with your friends, guys. But also, my friends, consider become a patron to choose the next content of the channel. And also, my friends, become a member to be my guest in my show. That's right. And now you can see this video, or maybe this other video, or maybe another interview, reviews, unboxing, stop motion, tutorial, and more for you guys. So thanks for watching, thank you so much, and subscribe, my friends, and so long, everybody, so long, my friends.